talk. If you know.
Yeah,
We are live.
Okay. Hello, people in the chat channel.
Greetings to those of you who tune into the pre-show.
The chat channel.
So I have to drop after my part. Do you want to first? Oh yeah, the hunts. That's totally fine. Do worry not about that. Oh yeah, no, actually. So people are getting a little behind the scenes. We're gonna need to have people that are here now leave around 6:20 just so other people can come in so we don't crash Hangouts because I don't know what the upper limit is, but it's probably not like 12 people.
We're scraping it. I feel it. It's right here.
It is actually 15.
Oh, it's 15? I thought it was 10.
It was 10 up until about 4 years ago. 3 years ago, they took it to 15.
Wow. Well, that's
I
provided
know much about
internet connections can handle that.
Yes, and probably not.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got 3 minutes after the hour. Sybil is still not in the chat room. Chat room, please, can somebody track down Sybil and get her in the room, please, so we can begin. Call for
Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman.
Sybil, where are you?
Mooley's going to need to get me another lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, live is
All
showing.
right.
Can they see us live?
All right, let me find my show
I
notes.
have
There we
lost
go.
the show notes. Okay. Do we even really need show notes? It really isn't. No. We'll just continue with them for the sake of structure. But
Yes, that's right.
I think this is, man, I moved around my
everything
props,
is
and I think this is the correct one. So we'll find out.
Good luck. All right,
Okay.
So you've got the well-wishers segments ready to play, right?
I do. They are on my soundboard.
Are
Let's do
we
this.
recording?
Oh, wow. No, we're not. Lol.
Let us record. And Sybil has joined.
Give me a minute to set this up. Wow.
Oh my
That would have been
God.
pretty awesome.
Thank you for whoever went out and found Sybil. Now we can begin the show.
Create from a template.
It sounds
Thankfully,
like
I've got
a lot
all
work
sorts of
to it.
macros, so I don't need to actually type much here.
Apparently, Sybil has the Yo app. Yo.
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 Dumbest idea for an app ever. Okay, so not the dumbest. Don't get me wrong on that.
No, not the dumbest. There are many, many dumber
Yes,
apps.
that is very true.
And the only annoying thing about the dumber apps is I didn't think of making them first.
Yeah, and making money off them. Okay, we are now recording. See, it only took me like
All right.
8 seconds. We're cool.
It was brillig, and the slivy toves did gyre in the gimbal and the web.
Nuh-uh.
I saw that. I was there. Sybil, thank you for joining us. Okay, we are recording. We have the first round of guests, and we have Gomez for the last time. Are we ready?
Yes.
We are ready.
All right, and I've lost the show. So, Ludra, to the top of the document.
I'm here.
All right, so we will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On this episode of the AIE Podcast,
It's our 200th episode.
It's our 200th episode,
it's our 200th episode!
and you can't fire me. I quit.
All that and more coming up right now. Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That is not the correct intro.
All
I
right,
will
that's
fix
it.
that
You're
later.
fired. Pack your box. Get out right now.
I know, wait. We went totally retro.
Wow, that was totally retro. I don't actually know what that was.
That was awesome.
My soundboard is wrong, so I move things around, and that's what you don't do before a show. But good
Short
evening, ladies and
timer's
gentlemen.
disease.
This is the AIE Podcast, episode 200, the Professional Die Has Been podcast, broadcasting from beautiful Northern California. This is Gomez. Hey, party people. And joining me from only a quarter of the state away is Aludra.
Hey, AIE, I think you're awesome.
And coming at us from the deep south out in central Alabama is Accuzod.
Greetings. This is Accuzod.
So, this week, our show is not the normal format. We're not going to do news. We're not doing any of this stuff. Instead, we brought a bunch of people in. Thank you, Ludra, for organizing all of the illustrious guests that are joining us this evening.
So we put together a wonderful show.
Yeah, so to start with, we have 3 segment producers. We have Buxley, Miss Mulgra, and Hunts the Wind here, all to talk about sort of their interactions with the podcast, their interactions with, doing stuff for the show. Hunts, how are things been going with you? I know you're kind of in the middle of life turmoil, trying to move, everything else.
Yeah, just a little stuff going on. In the last week, I've decamped from Atlanta and driven south to Miami, and that is a long drive. Georgia's a long state, and so is Florida.
Got tired of the zombies, I take it?
Yeah. So, but Miami's very nice. So, though, as I've discovered and is going on right now, Miami and there's a thunderstorm happening are pretty much synonymous phrases. So,
yeah. Isn't that why you're there, though? I mean, let's face it.
That's true.
The weather.
The weather, yeah. I left the field of doing computer science again and have bounced back into meteorology, which was my first career field, and ended up at the National Hurricane Center. So I'll be tracking all sorts of storms right now.
So you will, in fact, be hunting the wind.
Exactly.
Yes,
There's a reason all of his character names have weather-related, I would argue weather-related, themes, I guess.
It makes it easier to remember them by naming them all after weather phenomena and such. So yeah, it's I literally got my audio set up, put back together here in the last hour, thanks to some kind friends who are letting me bunk for a little bit while we try to find a house. I'm still in very big hunts the house mode.
So you're couch surfing in Miami. Nice.
Yeah. We've already been outbid on 2 houses, and we have an offer in on a third. So we're hoping that third time is the charm. And with luck, I'll actually have a place to bring Mrs. Hunts down to in the not too distant future.
Cool. So, Miss Mulgra, glad to have you on the show, or Malachi, or I know you by like 12 names, so it'd be much more difficult to figure out how to address you. But how are things going?
Oh, they're pretty good, I have to say. Miss Mulgra is past 100 episodes now, and the very first one was on this podcast.
Wow.
So you guys gave me my start.
Oh,
wow.
Very, very happy too as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird when you look back at 100 episodes. Have I been doing it that long? I mean, that just seems crazy.
It does.
Like 200. We're on it. This is our 200th episode. It's amazing to think this show has been running almost every single week for 4 or 5 years. How many is 200? That's like math. I can't do math. Math is hard.
I don't know, and I'm not taking any responsibility for the Warak, Gufoni, and Dills phase, them doing it every week, As a matter of fact, I think they did it once every 2 weeks for a while.
Yes.
So,
we started it was probably like episode 90-ish, because it was well after Zod joined it, well after you got here.
I was episode 91.
Okay, so I'm guessing it was probably episode 95 or something then that we started going weekly, because I don't actually have a recollection. But we also have Buxley here. Buxley, great to have you here.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I got a question for Hunts the Wind. If we start seeing hurricanes named Accuzad and Aludra and Gomez and Miss Mulgra, we're going to have to come down there and talk to you about that.
I love that. Are you kidding me?
Getting stuff stuck in that way probably would be a little difficult, but
Come on, there's $5 in it for you. Hurricane Accuzad.
I would love to see a hurricane named after myself.
Yes.
$5 cash money.
Yeah. So just if the 3 of you could talk a little bit about just kind of getting your start, what you've been doing to come up with ideas, because all 3 of you have come up with something that Hunts, you sort of do what's kind of currently going on in the news, except you twist it a little bit. And Buxley, insofar as I can tell, you're just doing stuff that you come up with. Like, I don't know how you're continuing to have a long tail on the segments you make. And I know that, Ms. Mulgra, you're getting your stuff from, people can submit ideas, and ideas also come to you as well. So how do you guys come up with this stuff to continue to, produce content on a weekly basis?
You want to pick somebody to go first? Or everybody?
Sure.
Buxley, I thought.
Buxley.
Okay.
Buxley's first, of course. I can't think of a good answer. No, a lot of times what'll happen is I'll be out in World of Warcraft playing around, and I'll see something, and it'll just occur to me, this would make a great segment. I didn't do it for the longest time during Pandaria when that started, and there were so many things. I'm like, oh, this would be perfect. But I never wrote them down, and I kind of let that slide. That was when, between when I was doing the Ask Buxley segment and now Buxley's Journal, and it's basically that sort of thing. Whatever occurs to me, and I'll just come up with a topic, and believe it or not, I just sit down and just write it straight through and record it, and that's it.
Here's some stuff from early Pandaria. First off, pandas. And then there were hosens, and then there was that phrase that's still around guild chat all the time, Ookum the Duker. There were poop quests, there were sniper quests, so yeah. Tons of stuff is still there.
Tons of things. So I'm hoping that with the new expansion coming out, there'll be a ton of interesting ideas coming that I can riff on those.
Yeah, definitely. As I was saying pre-show, you can click on an outhouse and get an achievement. Yeah.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
No, you can do it in real life too. Actually, that's pretty useful.
And I was doing a quest by an outhouse, and let's just say they've got sound effects now for those outhouses.
Great.
Because that is what you're missing from your MMO.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck is that? Oh my god, it's the outhouse. Anybody playing the beta? I was the night elf running back and forth going, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, I'm actually playing the beta. It's pretty vast so far from what I can see, the area, so that's pretty interesting. Can't wait until they come out with it. I'm hoping before the end of the year, but I'm thinking might be a little bit longer than that. I always forget when
BlizzCon, maybe? Because there is BlizzCon this year, so I mean, it seems ambitious given that's not very far away. But because I mean, people are like, oh, that's not till it's in October, November this year. I don't actually remember.
November.
But I mean, that's not that far away anymore. We're more than halfway past the year, so there's only 12 months in the year. So unless they changed it.
They didn't change it, Gomez. What was that?
I was just wondering, do you think they could actually make it by BlizzCon? I haven't been in the beta, so I haven't really seen what it looks like as far as how finished and what they're still tweaking.
Well, they changed everybody to humans on the Horde side. They changed everybody to humans on the Horde side, and everybody who was an orc turned into a gnome. So I don't think that affects anybody here, because everybody here likes gnomes, I think.
I'm a panda!
Yes, Claire. So the whole thing is, apparently it was very, very alpha a very short time ago, and then in the last patch, or the last couple patches, it is really, really improved in quality. Like, I can just tell by my Twitter feed how much people are enjoying it from patch to patch, because it's I can't believe this isn't done yet, blah, blah, blah. And then the next one's like, oh, they fixed a whole bunch of stuff, and I have a whole bunch more stuff to explore. So I think they're making leaps and bounds. But yeah, BlizzCon does seem very, very ambitious at this point, just from a software development perspective.
Yeah, I expect we will hear a release date of BlizzCon, but I don't think a launch of BlizzCon.
Yeah, that's probably more likely.
Probably get back to the segment producers, though.
Sorry.
I was going to say, I completely railed this off. Sorry.
So, Hunts the Wind, you're up next. Give us some idea of what it's like for creating the Overly Dramatic News podcast these days. Because I know you're everywhere. I see Odeon on, like, if anybody does a World of Warcraft podcast, Odeon is on it. I don't know how you did that.
Nice.
I've managed to make some good contacts, and it's one of those things where some weeks the news is just obvious. You know, you hear a story and you say, that's what I'm going to do my segment on this week. Like, for example, I'm going to be recording next week's segment after we finish up here, and a certain Comcast customer service call will be the topic for next week.
Nice, very nice.
Oh, it was funny. I got to deviate here a little bit on the side. The friends I'm staying with, that subject came up, and they'd heard, you know, because it's pretty much gone viral. So they're talking about this, and then I happen to just slip into the conversation. Oh, by the way, I know the wife of that couple, and they just look at me and say, "Do you know everybody?"
I know Johnny Depp told me not to drop names anymore.
I
so
know. You're not
Oprah says the same.
You dropped something there, Zod.
Yeah,
you dropped something over there.
Yeah.
But usually it's there's on good weeks there's several news stories that I could use as source material. But then there are the weeks where I'm sitting there saying, okay, I've got time to go find the sow's ear to try and make a silk purse out of. And I try and come up with some longer term ideas to keep in reserve in case I hit one of those, but right now the cupboard's a bit bare because, you know, we've had the current expansion out for so long, so I'm hoping that maybe as we get a little deeper into the beta I'll be able to find some things to mine and file away for those very dry weeks where I'm struggling for an idea and coming up on deadline.
So speaking of the long-running...
You in the move, didn't you?
Sorry?
You probably packed all your ideas in the move and you can't find the box you put them in.
Yeah.
Where's that box?
It's somewhere between here and Atlanta. Who knows where it is?
So how many episodes have you done now, Hans?
We're now up to, I think, 160 or so. I'm just 6 shy myself of coming up on my 100th episode personally since I took over from you. Because I think your last episode, I was right around 65, and I think I came in.
That sounds right. So yeah, I'm waiting for you to double digits compared to mine. You know, so.
But yeah, it's been going for a while. You know, between you and me, we've been doing stuff for quite a while now.
It's kind of amazing to think of.
Yeah.
All right, so Ms. Mulgrew. Yeah, you said you've done over 100 episodes now, right?
This week is number 113.
Okay, so I will ask the annoying question everyone asks: where do you get your ideas?
Well, sometimes it's things that happen in actual real life. Work is always a good source of crazy ideas for things where you would like to react differently, but of course you put your professional face on at work. But Ms. Mulgrew doesn't have to do that, so she can have whatever reaction I might think would be appropriate for any given situation. I do get people sometimes will send me something on Twitter, send an idea on Twitter, or just at Nerdtacular. I always get a chance to meet people, of course, and I just got the first segment that I did after Nerdtacular, so 112 was something that someone talked to me about there, and that was
nice.
That was kind of fun. And otherwise, if I'm really dry, like as Hans was saying, rather than going and looking in my moving boxes, I'll go and have a look at some of the WoW news feeds of various kinds, Wowhead or some of the other sites that have the most recent news, and I'll see if there's something there that I can play with. Usually, I'm like Buxley. I just start writing. I'll usually write it on a Monday or so. And Wednesday when I get home from work, I just record it. Normally it's only a couple of takes unless it's a really bad evening. And it's done.
We can relate.
Totally.
I know how that goes.
All the time. I redo takes all the time.
It's not like
it's crazy.
It's not like totally screwed up the intro to one of the most important podcasts you've ever done. So.
Yeah, who would do that? I still don't know what that file is. It's called, I swear, the name of the file is called 2013 AIE Pod Zod Fade Voice.
Zod Fade Voice?
Well, that's because your voice fades out, your voice comes in and then it fades out. So I figured that's probably the correct file. And nope. So I will,
But
I'll get it right next time.
For next show, really? You'll do that for us?
All right. So
there was a question from the chat room for Ms. Mulgrew. Do any of your workmates actually know that you do World of the Warcraft segment thing?
Nobody at work does, but somebody that I do Tai Chi with knows that I do this thing, and she's asked me before, oh, well, maybe I should go listen. And I keep telling her, well, it probably won't seem very funny to you unless you actually know the game and know about gnomes and custard and whatnot.
It does actually require context. That's why I would tell a lot of people, oh, yeah, I do a podcast for a gaming community. And they're like, oh, I should listen. I'm like, well, are you part of the gaming community? Because it's not going to make a whole heck of a lot of sense if you don't. I mean, someone might get enjoyment from this, but it is a very context-sensitive sort of thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're kind of in-jokes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes.
All right, I'm afraid
Very
to say it, but it is time for us to rotate guests. So I just want to tell the three of you that we have always appreciated you segmenting for the show and joining us for all these wonderful episodes. We think you guys are awesome.
Very
Thank
much
you very
so.
much for being part of the podcast.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks very much for having us. And Gomez, sorry to lose you, but I can certainly understand that sometimes you've got to say goodbye to one thing to move on to other things and expand your horizons. So you will be missed, sir.
Very much appreciated.
Yes, you will be
Very,
missed.
very much appreciated.
All right, so Ludra, if you'd be kind enough to queue up the next guest, we did kind of gloss over the fact that this is Gomez's last show. We're trying hard not to mention it because I promised I wouldn't cry. So if Gomez, if you would be so kind, we have some segments submitted by our wonderful listeners who want to celebrate both events, the 200th episode and Gomez's last show. So if you'll play those while Ludra rotates guests, I'll just sit here and look pretty.
Ooh, pretty.
Okay. So if people can mute their mics, that'd be great.
You need to go ahead and come in this weekend.
Hail to the AIE Podcast. This is Takamikazuch, and I would like to congratulate you guys for reaching one heck of a milestone. Achievement unlocked, 200 epic episodes. I would also like to say a huge thank you to Gomez for all the hard work he has done on the podcast over these last few years. You will most certainly be missed by many. Congrats once again, and good luck to Gomez. I'm sure we'll see you in-game.
Inside the AIE Podcast recording studios. Thank you all for coming. As you know, we're looking to replace Gomez for the AIE Podcast. We got here, we were all handed a card. Now, when I point to you, read the card. Let's get started. Number 1, hey, party people! Number 2, hey, party, people. Number 3, hey, party people. Number 4, arr, hey, party people. Number 5, hey, we're the monkeys. Whoa, that wasn't even close. Let's see, number 6, hey, you're that Buxley guy.
Yeah, and I came here to stop this.
What?
Look, there's only one Gomez. You're never really going to replace him. I think he deserves our thanks for all the things he's done for the AIE Podcast. Don't you?
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, all you people, get out of here. Hey, Buxley, wait a minute.
What?
Do the thing.
Thing?
Yeah, you know, the thing.
Oh.
Thanks for your Gomez. Close enough.
Thanks, Gomez, for everything you've done. You'll be missed.
Those are both awesome. I absolutely love those.
Okay, and I think we had Miss Mulgra had something prepared.
Well, yes, of course, because I did want to say congratulations on 200 podcasts. You were the first ones who were bright enough to realize that my advice to everyone was something that needed to be shared with the whole community. And so for that, I congratulate you. And Gomez, I will miss you because, hey, you know I am a party orc. I think I can forgive you for being a human because you have been such a good host of the AIE podcast. And that's my guild, you know. So, thank you, Gomez. And don't run into any gnomes or anything like that when you are in Azeroth. Or if you do, make custard.
Okay, thank you very much.
Not only was it awesome, she did it live.
I know.
She did it live. We're doing it live. So thank you, Miss Mulgra and Buxley. Very much appreciated.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We'll see you.
All right. So next up, we have the amazing Stig and Ralph. Ooh.
Are you sure that looks like a human being and not a cyborg?
Well, you know,
I'm
good
sure.
skin. The darn skin job.
For those of you who don't know, these guys are part of the big picture that makes the AIE what it is. I've totally lost words now because, yeah, I'm just great at that. Sorry, guys, but
I'd say
I
they
got
are
worried
the
for a second there where that was going.
they
Yeah, I
are the
lost
brain
it.
and the heart of the community, right there.
oh, that's a
Yes.
good way to put it.
A lot of the internal organs of AIE here.
Man, there's a spleen in there, I'm sure, or something like
The
that.
brain, the heart, the lungs.
Pancreas.
All right, since we have you guys on, why don't you give, I'm sure most of our listeners have some idea, but kind of give us a quick recap of what is AIE and especially what have we become in the last, 100 episodes that we've been doing the AIE podcast. It's been a good couple of years. What has this community turned into?
Stig, I'm going to ask you to go first and remember not to mumble.
Good. What have we become?
So we used to be a bunch of
An
people running little
unstoppable
backwards.
juggernaut.
That's kind of true.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's funny because I still remember the first day in back in 2007 when we started the guild and just bringing on everybody and the invites were flying and we kept seeing people join and kept seeing people join and kept seeing people like, when is this going to stop?
It's not.
And
It's not.
it never stop. I mean, we had we filled up the guild. We hit the 500 member limit in 3 weeks for those of you who weren't here then. And we got to a point later in the year, like around June or so, when we had to kind of decide, what are we going to do? Are we going to stop inviting people? Are we going to close it off? Are we going to have to do some kind of weird things with only one main and one alt or something like that? And we kind of took the technological approach and started tracking who we had and figured, well, we won't worry too much about the limits. We'll just keep inviting people until things fall over. And I think that approach, and we, eventually we did hit the point when things fell over, but I think that really spoke pretty well to what our priorities were as a guild at that time, which was we really didn't care too much about the mechanics of the game or what were going on or whether the people we were bringing on were the best raiders or the best players or whatever. We just wanted to have fun. We wanted to bring in as many people as
I
we
like
could.
the image you've painted. It's like AIE is this insatiable beast, and we want all the members. So much so that we've moved on to other games, and we're eating those people too.
all the things. All the things. But so everything that we've done as a community has been centered around being able to hang out with your friends. And that's all it is. That's all that the community is. We saw that, people were starting to spread out from WoW and starting to leave WoW, try out the other games. That not because WoW itself was failing. Obviously, that was how many expansions ago? But
a while.
We've got another one coming up. But because there were so many new games coming out, and people would have to make hard decisions and say, well, I'm going to play this one, not this one. And we were really kind of bummed out that we weren't going to be able to play with the same people that we'd been playing with. So we're like, well, okay, can we kind of take the same methodology that we have for the WoW Guild and expand out to the rest of the known universe? And so far, it's working. It's not easy. There are challenges, and there's a lot of stuff where one game division does things one way, and we've got to figure out how to tie that into the rest of what AIE is doing and make sure that everybody's talking to each other. But it's all worth it, and in the end, it seems like it's working pretty well.
I know that that Eve community is kind of scary.
Well, yeah, they're weird.
I look at the history of AIE and I see a few obviously a few important milestones and periods in it, and I think obviously when it was first formed on Earthen Ring, and you had that whole big ramp up. I think also the Cataclysm when we had the guild sundering and we made multiple guilds. But I also look at
we were never going to recover from that.
Yes. But I also look at certain decisions, and like Stig was alluding to, this idea at a certain point that yes, this is a fan guild, and yes, it's all sponsored, comes from sort of the instance, and we tend to get these people, for the most part, who are really great people, because that's sort of the people that Scott Johnson draws to him, right?
Somehow.
By the way, happy birthday, Scott Johnson. He's not here.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, Scott.
For your gift, we are kicking Gomez from the show.
I heard he was having a party. I thought he was celebrating the 200th episode with us.
It's a combo.
Okay.
So, and then we kind of accept anybody because we assume they came, for the most part, from that vector. And then we've been, people have accused us in the past of like, oh, they just take anybody. And we're like, yes, we will take anybody, but we won't keep anybody. And I think that's very true. That's sort of the second big decision that we made, where we say, we're not going to think of people as their characters, their tunes. We don't care about your stats. We don't care about your gear score. The raid teams care about the gear scores. What we care about is who is the person behind all those tunes. And if that person turns out to be, a bad fit in terms of just not a nice person, then we say goodbye to them in all their forms and even in all the games. So that's sort of I think that was a good decision that we've made that has helped us to keep this whole thing, sort of a quality organization as we move forward.
I always like to think of it as, we respect every player, even the ones we have to ask to leave. Right. We actually want them to go find the guild that's right for them, the one that plays the way they want to play. Because we're not it for them. And so we're very happy that they're playing. We want them to go enjoy themselves.
Yeah, we're helping them, really.
And we assume the best. If somebody comes in, we obviously, there was... we've been accused many times on the WoW forums and other forums. Oh, you guys take anybody. As long as somebody's got a pulse, you'll let them in. Well, yeah, we'll let them in the door. We assume the best of every player who's coming in.
We don't even require a pulse.
And that's true. But,
well, it helps them fill out
the
their mommy applications, right?
But here's the great
thing.
The
undead would not take favorably on our, requiring a pulse.
I'm just saying it's nowhere on the form.
That's very true.
But the cool thing is that even though we've got kind of this open invite policy, we really haven't had much of a problem over time. Most of the people that I've dealt with have been great people, and I've met some fantastic people being an AIE, but like the few people that may be a problem or so, they're so few and far between that we probably, each of us knows every single one of their names.
Yeah.
And we could probably write down most of them.
It's going to be a test, Stig.
Pop quiz.
I need more time.
But yeah, it's just to mention that some of the people who have not worked out with AIE, that there's been a difference of the way we run policy, the way we run, and the comments that I've seen, it's like, oh, AIE's like elitist. It's like, no, if we're elitist, I would hate to see what an actual elitist, because really our requirement is be kind to other people and don't be a jerk. Like, that's it. That's really, those are really the things that is the bar that we're setting. So if that's considered elitist, maybe you should re-examine your priorities. That's just kind of where I come from.
Well, and the other thing is
that might be
people who are new to AIE, and we saw this a lot with WoW, and we do see it with other games sometimes. It takes a while for people to get used to the fact that we really don't care about your characters. When somebody is a member of AIE, it's the person who is the member of AIE. People ask, well, can I switch my alt to my main? And we're like,
Okay.
Play the other one.
What I love is the letters we get occasionally or tweets. So what does your guild need? And it's like, we need positive players with a good attitude. Like, and they're like, no, you need a warrior? Because I got warrior.
We don't have any warlocks. With none. Could you please roll a warlock?
We need more hunters. We totally need more hunters. Please.
We only have around 800. We need more hunters, please.
Unless you're playing Eve, then we need more dual stab adventures.
Okay.
So, now that I do, actually.
So there's the guild and all its history, but today it's probably more appropriate to talk about the history of the podcast, I think. So way back in time, there was... it started with Aprillian, right? She was the first to make it, and she ran for a while, and I think the next group was that Euphony and Warak, or was Dills in that group?
Dills was in there with him. Yeah.
That was the Rat Pack.
Mm-hmm.
And they got up to 61, is that what you guys were saying? And then
right. And then they almost all quit. and thankfully Dills did not quit and stuck around for a couple episodes.
And I don't even know what the hell Dills
he stuck around for a while.
Where did he go? That guy disappeared.
Yeah, that guy just dropped off the face of the earth.
Does anybody know?
We know he's got talent. And then I know, Gomez, you came in. Did all three of you come in at 61? Or
No, Akuzad came in at 69, and I came in at 91. Carius the Bard was actually in between me and
So it was Dills and I for a short period of time, and then Carius came in, and then when Carius left, Zod came in, and then after that, Dills cycled out and Aludra came in.
So you definitely have
that was a very
tenure of anyone.
Yeah, not by much though. I guess Zod had a little break, like somewhere in the mid 100s, but it wasn't very many episodes. But yeah, Zod is not far behind me. I mean, he only joined 8 episodes after I did.
You joined episode 69, which I thought was hilarious for Zod.
Does that mean he qualifies for the pension? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, I get a pension? It's the first I've heard about it.
Oh no, we thought Fred told you it's 201.
Yeah, do you know what?
Your
pay.
That's it.
Your pay from the podcast. We're gonna give you 75% of it until you start a new podcast.
Okay.
So it's like Cobra.
I just noticed something though. I just want to comment. The contrast between the books behind Aludra and the books behind Stig.
I know.
I don't even know what the Aludra ones are, but they're all over the place. Stig is doing DNS and brewing beers.
Mine are mostly manga and whatever the boys crammed in there, because I told them to clean them, and that's how young gentlemen in their teens clean. So
what? They fit in the shelf? What do you want from me, Mom?
They're not on the floor. Come on.
Hey, did I straighten them up? No.
You'll like this.
Oh.
No, nice.
All that said, though, Gomez, I don't even know how to say how much we really appreciated what you've done, and sad you're leaving, and I don't know what podcast you're going to next. But
and nothing on the horizon quite yet. I greatly appreciate it, and I'm certainly not hanging it up. I've invested far too much time and money in equipment and learning how to do this to completely hang it up.
That's a $300 microphone.
Yes, it is. I don't have anything yet. I'm just trying to get other parts of my life to settle down before I move on to another podcast. But yes, this is not the last you have heard from me. Trust me. I will be around.
We love you, and we all love what you've done. Well, and if anything you ever do, I will retweet the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. I greatly appreciate that.
If the listeners have any suggestions of what Gomez should do next, please tweet him at @ShowNotFound.
Great.
Please.
I'm expecting those to start lighting up in about a couple minutes. Yes. I've been just watching them lighting up as people have been retweeting things.
I encourage everyone to do that and be as explicit as possible.
Great. Oh man. Thankfully, I don't think my work follows me on Twitter.
It doesn't matter if they're following your @replies, then you've got a problem.
Oh yeah, that's well, and also it just to sort of talk about this community was very easy to want to do a podcast for. I mean, I've been to multiple Nerdtaculars. Unfortunately, I had to miss this year, but I've been to multiple Nerdtaculars, and having actually met people face to face, that just made it even more like, oh, this is definitely something I want to do even more. And it was just the whole thing of, I've said this before, but for a while, I was the guy that carried the banner. Like when Warwick and Gaffoni and Dills decided to sort of hang it up, and then fortunately, Dills had a change of heart for a couple episodes, which saved me, because I don't know, the AIE podcast might have died. Like, if it was all just dumped on me unceremoniously, I don't know that I would have been able to sustain it. But he stuck around for a couple episodes. I was very happy to hold that banner up, but I want the podcast to grow. I know that we've picked a fantastic third chair to replace me, so I think she will do fantastic. I think you guys will carry on, but I really wanted the podcast to be able to continue to move, and I didn't feel that I'm the person to do that anymore. So I greatly appreciate, like, this was a blast. I mean, I didn't stick around for almost 4 years because it was a chore. I enjoyed every minute of it. It was certainly a lot of fun.
I think I
got another drink.
It's going to be great, and I have met you both at Nerdtaculars, but you have one thing that she doesn't.
Okay.
Which is a cutie mark, as I recall.
Yes. Those pictures will, I'm sure, cycle around the internet again. Oh man.
Yes. That was lovely.
The things I do for this guild.
The joy on everyone else's face and the embarrassment on yours was the best part of that.
Yeah.
It wasn't embarrassment. Like, whatever. Let's put it this way. I have done far stupider things.
Right.
I have done far stupider things in public in my life than that.
Let's go on to that then.
Gomez, you look so pretty.
Let's linger on that area of discussion for a little bit.
Pretty.
Yes, hey, I remember just in your wig, just so. Come on.
Oh yeah. Man, that thing was hot. I don't know how people do it.
I know. I don't know either.
Earlier of Miss Mulgra, if any of her people in her work life, or let's just say family work life, and anything sort of outside of this, knew about her alternate persona. So I kind of want to ask Gomez the same question.
A bunch of my friends know I did. I'm doing a podcast Thursday evening. My boss knows because I ask if I can leave work on early on Thursday evening. I don't think any of them are aware enough to, like, as I tell people, they ask, "Oh, what's your podcast about?" If you're not part of the guild, I don't like. Would you understand this podcast? I don't think you would. So it's not that I wouldn't recommend someone to listen to the podcast. It's just I don't think there's enough context to make it make any sense to anyone who isn't already part of the community.
I just tell them it's a local chapter of Mensa, and they don't ask any questions.
Yeah, that would do it. Or you could say
I mean,
I think
people certainly do know that I podcast and have been doing this podcast for many years, but I don't know that any of them have actually listened. I mean, that's besides the people that I know that are in AIE, obviously, because they might be more inclined to listen to the podcast. But no, I don't keep it private. It's not like my Twitter account is locked or anything, so I'm tweeting about stuff all the time. So
yeah, but it's not your real
it isn't something I've been ashamed of, certainly. What's that?
It's not like it's under your real name either, or is it?
No.
Yeah,
well, no, it's my Twitter handle is Show Not Found. It's Andy Y. I didn't really feel the need, like, if you know me, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't need people from my high school, like, hey, what's up? Like, there's a reason I'm not on Facebook. like,
I had this podcast that started back in the beginning of the year with Kim and Johnny Feisty, and that's the Doctor Who one. And so some of the guys at work have started listening to it because that's that is a more general topic, right, than just an.
Certainly.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a broader appeal. Yeah.
And they listened to it like over the weekend, and I come back in on Monday because my actual name is not Ralph. That's just my character name.
What?
Sorry.
You've been lying to us this whole
Destroyed
time.
Akuzad's worldview. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Drop mic. I'm leaving.
And so on that Monday, I come in and they're like, "Hey, listen to the show. It's pretty good and everything, but Ralph, what?
Which one are you?
Well, there was that. They're like, which one were you? But then they're like, you
Really?
were
You
Ralph,
couldn't
right?
tell?
What the hell's up with that? And it was like they thought I was trying to pull something over on everyone, like. So I told him it was just like it was like the equivalent of Madonna. It's just my stage name.
Yeah.
And I have certainly I have guest hosted on a couple of podcasts, and they were like, "Oh, do you want us to call you Gomez?" I'm like, "Well, no, because that's not actually my name. Like, you can call me Andy, that's fine. But here, like, that's who I am in AIE, so that's who people recognize me as. So that's why I'm continuing to use the name. But yeah." In other places, no, there's not a whole lot of point in, like, don't refer to me as Gomez if we're not talking about games at all. That's kind of odd. So no, that's
right.
It certainly isn't a secret, but I don't publicize it either. Yeah, no, Lotwalk, my real name is not Gomez.
Going crazy with this whole Ralph is not actually Ralph thing. Oh man, you have destroyed many a worldview, sir. Many.
Well, here's the weird thing. So this has been like 7 years now that I've been using that name. I actually sometimes think of myself as Ralph. I was, driving
that
in
happens.
Parking lot, trying to find a parking spot.
Totally relate.
And I'm talking to myself, and I'm like, Ralph, where are you going to find a spot? And then I was like, who exactly are you talking to? Who am I? What is this? Oh, there's a spot.
Yeah. No.
We almost had a crisis there of identity, but headed it off by finding that parking spot.
Yes.
Oh, I think
we have a new member.
We might. Yes. We have a new member. So both Ralph and Stig, I'm actually going to play 2 more segments that we've got for people sending in things for episode 200. So I will do that. Ralph and Stig, thank you both very much for joining us and giving us a little more info about the podcast, a little more info about the guild. We appreciate your guys' leadership. You're both high council. We're really thankful that you guys continue to steer the gigantic ship that is AIE. That is greatly appreciated.
If you guys didn't make this community what it is, we wouldn't have anything to do a show on. So we
wouldn't even be here. We wouldn't know each other. That's crazy.
And hopefully, if I get my button gear, you'll have something better to do the show on, a better platform.
Oh, okay. Whoa. You heard it here first, folks. Stig is taking on more stuff, because clearly that's what he needs to do for the guild.
Yeah, more things.
And
thanks,
Randy,
guys.
thank you for joining us. But we're going to very briefly play 2 more segments, and then we will be back to talk to Randy.
Hey guys, it's Lotwalk from the AIE Nomad. We'd like to throw out a big congrats to the podcast for 200 spectacular shows. This podcast sits right in the heart of AIE and
did that just go silent? Gomez?
You and the host before you put into the show. We'd like to thank you for. Hey guys,
sorry, I'm going to start that over. Apparently, I can't mute myself, or it mutes the segment. So I will just be quiet and play the segment.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's Lotwalk from the AIE Nomad. We'd like to throw out a big congrats to the podcast for 200 spectacular shows. This podcast sits right in the heart of AIE and has been instrumental to our little group. No flicking of switches or sprinkling of fairy dust to make this magic happen. It comes from the hard work the 3 of you and the host before you put into the show. We'd like to thank you for that, especially for the hard days, the ones where you didn't feel up to it but trucked on anyway. And, of course, we'd like to send a very special hey from the party people to Gomez. We'll miss your ability to keep conversations on task and on time. as well as all of the technical work, the recording, the editing, the distribution. It feels like the show cannot continue without you, but the crew, I'm sure, will truck on. There will be new bumps in the road to smooth out, and a new feel to the show will emerge. But what we can say for certain is that your talents and your personality will leave a lasting impression on the show's legacy. Congratulations, guys, and here's to 200 more spectacular episodes.
Greetings. This is Rastlin presenting another installment of our ongoing informational series, Other, Much Lesser Known Shaws of Pandaria. Tonight we present a special segment from the archives of the Lore Walkers of Pandaria, the Shaw of large and impressive, but arbitrary, round numbers. This Shaw has the unusual ability of adding zeros to things. This allows the Shaw, for instance, to have not just 2 arms, nor even 20, but an incredible 200. And, as is well known, getting through 200 of anything is a difficult task indeed, requiring enormous amounts of skill and stamina. Only one brave hero so far has gotten through number 200, taking an incredible 3 years in the attempt. But it is said he started on about the 50th, so it is not as impressive as it might have been. He was last seen leaving the lair, shouting his battle cry, "I must go, for it's hard." One moment. Yes? Okay, I'm being told that his actual parting words were, "I'm Gomus. Words are hard." Well, whatever exactly that means may forever remain a mystery, but we wish him ongoing good journeys in lands unknown. Perhaps he will return someday and share the tales of his further adventures. Until then, we now return you to your various regularly scheduled raid runs already in progress.
Those are awesome. Thank you two very much.
Yes,
thank you to everyone who's sending in such nice things. So, we have Randy Deluxe here, who has joined us. Thank you very much for joining us on episode 200. We appreciate it. You're one of the reasons we are all here, so it is greatly appreciated that you are here.
It's funny you say that. I was told to come fire somebody. I don't know what that means, but I'm here to fire someone.
Do we roll dice for it, or like?
I don't know if I'm really
Draw straws.
glad to be here. But...
1, 2, 3, not it.
Not it.
Well.
Aww.
What's up, Gomus?
Yeah, you're gonna need me to come in on Saturday, or?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got to say, Randy, I am extremely nervous talking to you because you are an idol in my world. It's thanks to you specifically that I got into podcasting 3.5, 4 years ago, however long it's been now, and that has transformed my life. You set me on the course I have been on for the last 4 years, so I just want to say thank you.
Wow, and all I was doing was sitting around Bobo's house in Hawaii talking into a microphone.
That's it. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what a difference. Yeah, no, very much so. And also, I mean, I'm the same thing. Like, I really wanted to come up with something to send into the instance when you and Scott were doing it, but I couldn't think of something broad enough, which is why I started the raid wrap up, because that was very, AIE specific, and also, man, that was a long segment. I mean, when I stopped doing it, we were clocking in like 17 minutes or something, and it was just like, okay, no one is going to play this besides the AIE podcast, because it was 16 raid teams all doing something different and all sending in information. So, kudos to Six for carrying on as long as he did. But
and also, it was you. I mean, let's face it. No one's ever claimed that you're a succinct speaker.
No. Oh, heavens no. Heavens no. That is. But it wasn't just me. I had partners in crime. So, but yeah, no. I fully agree that's the case. So, okay, full disclosure, Scott was originally going to come on as well. I think when he agreed to come on the show, he might have been in pre-nerdtacular mode, so was kind of trying to get everything done for Nerdtacular, not realizing today was his birthday.
Yeah,
I think he knows
things.
now today's his birthday.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure Scott's at a steakhouse right now having a ribeye.
Yes.
And more power to him. Happy birthday, Scott Johnson.
Yes, happy birthday.
Absolutely. Certainly also a reason we are all here. Like, we would certainly not be here if that's...
Well...
But,
but Randy gets the most praise because he showed up.
And I brought a game with me that I was going to play with Scott, so now I have to play with myself, which is the best way to play because I win. So.
Okay. I guess I don't have to edit that.
No.
Okay.
I just started and ended the game, and I won. Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
So, I still have to, Randy, I don't remember if you remember giving me...
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember that very
well. Randy Deluxe handed me this shirt at BlizzCon. Man, that was probably 2008. That was so long ago.
You and I have crossed paths since then. We really should have done something with that shirt. Like, I don't know, scrawled your name on it or so. I don't know what. You don't want my name on it. No, collector's item. That's, the instance. That's a thing.
Yeah, so, how dare you face it with your graffiti? Gee.
So you were the leader of the WoW Guild for the longest time, and now you are we like to call you and Scott sort of the figureheads. Like we trot you out for parades, and you wave to the people. So what is your opinion of sort of what AIE has become? Because I'm pretty sure this is not what you guys imagined when you kind of got the ball rolling.
Oh, not at all. When it was started, the inception of the thing was, maybe 100 people will come along. If we're lucky, we'll have enough to make a 40-man raid, that sort of thing. So,
get some alts in there, and
yeah. So we were really shocked when it blew past the 500-person list cap in the first week. We didn't know what to do, and it took us months to realize, we need people just to handle the people. Like, we kind of thought it would self-organize somehow.
And because so many things in life just self-organize.
Especially on the internet.
And it's sometimes I look back at emails from 7 years ago and kind of scratch my head. What? Oh gosh, 7.5 years now. What were we thinking? It was so obvious that we needed to find people like Stig and Langthorus and others to pour a lot of effort into organizing, not just getting together and going to Karazhan, but actually making officers and things that officers do. And I guess the thing that still impresses me the most is that a lot of the challenges we found when we finally organized with officers, they're challenges we still face every day today. That the challenge of steering this huge boat and keeping the wind at our backs. It's really awesome to log into WoW every day and just see that huge group of people out playing and enjoying one another's company.
Yeah,
yep,
no, that's well, and also it's expanded into. I mean, there's I'm sure a giant contingent at Nerdtacular this year. We're doing the town hall at or the guild hall at BlizzCon. I'm so glad that it's not only expanded to other games, but it's expanded outside of games as well. Mm-hmm. And that's just a testament to, I don't know what it is about Scott Johnson that attracts a specific kind of person, but he's done a magical thing to bring this many people together, and we all kind of get along without a whole lot of bureaucracy and the officers. I'm not saying their job is easy, having done it myself. I know that there are times that you're like, I can't believe that I'm having to do this, but the community makes it worth it. I'm thrilled at how smooth things are running, just as a community in general.
You sound like you really, really like AIE. I don't understand why we're firing this guy. I'm confused.
Legal said we had to. There are some things that happened in the break room that we can't talk about.
All right.
Again?
And I have to point out, by the way, that Gomez, you just called Randy Jordan the Stan Lee of gaming communities.
Oh, wow.
Every movie we trot him out for a scene or two.
Oh, I thought he was calling me the Jerry Lewis.
No, it was more like the Queen, where she's ooh, she just waves at people, and it's like she doesn't really want any power anymore. That's not my fault. But it's certainly not the Jerry Lewis. You're absolutely not the Jerry Lewis. I wouldn't. I mean, Patrick might really like you.
Picture of Freddie Mercury when you said that. I was like. Randy, I honestly really do love AIE, which is one of the reasons why I am stepping down, because I think the podcast can do more and wonderful and better things. I don't know what those things are. So I'm ready for someone to step in and pick up the banner and run with the banner, because I know it can happen, and I'm really curious. And if you don't think that I'm going to be here as much as I can watching the live show, I'm absolutely going to do that. But he's got to point out where we're going wrong. Yeah, well, of course. I got to give my snarky commentary. He'll do a segment about everything we're doing wrong every week.
Yeah. That's it.
Here's
that's
how not
right
to
there.
do a podcast. Yeah.
All right, Randy, I have a question for you. So I know that there were reasons you had to kind of step out of the instance and kind of go a different direction and pass over leadership of the guild. What have you been doing since then? Have you become this mystery hermit recluse, the master on top of the hill? So what has been
pretty
going
much
on?
it? No, you nailed it right there. That's I have poured a lot of effort into raising a child.
Outstanding.
That is really something. It's shockingly time-taking. I don't want to say time-wasting. Time-taking.
Time-consuming.
Time-consuming.
Set of tasks, and spent a lot more time at the office than I ever dreamed I would. I'm actually there right now.
Oh.
So yeah. In fact,
hopefully they're not listening to the show, because you don't get in trouble.
Just a little while ago, I called Scott Johnson on speakerphone, and all sorts of luminaries who sit around me yelled out happy birthday to him, but of course he didn't answer, so we were just talking to his voicemail.
Oh,
anyway.
Nice. So, Randy, can we mention where you're employed?
Oh, of
Is
course,
that acceptable
absolutely.
to do?
Yeah,
Okay, so
absolutely, yeah.
Randy actually works for the reason that we are all here.
The one that started it all.
He works for Blizzard, and so the game that started it all. So he is a community manager for Blizzard. So so we can say AIE Podcast 200. We had a live caller from Blizzard HQ. I think that is a feather in our cap.
Not only that, but I believe you were just put back on the WoW team, so congratulations for that.
Absolutely, congratulations.
About 6 weeks ago, yeah.
So
congratulations and condolences.
You'll be responsible for all the poop jokes in the next expansion?
No, those were already written.
Okay.
However,
I'm sure.
However, I'm happy to be responsible for the decorations on the toy box.
Yay! That's awesome.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
Anymore. I'm actually running out of time to be with you. I just wanted to say to you guys, thank you so very much for all your effort, for all the time, all the talent you've poured into doing this for so long. This podcast hasn't just been going on for 200 episodes, but years and years of entertainment and bringing this community together, and we really, really appreciate it. I know that I can speak on behalf of Scott here. You guys have done a marvelous job, and here's to a couple hundred more.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much for joining us, Randy. We greatly appreciate that you took the time out to join us here. So we can leave you and you can take off. I'm going to play 2 more of the beautiful segments that people sent in for episode 200, and then we will get into show wrap-up. So thank you very much, Randy.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, this is Turbo Addiction from AIE Universal and Turbo from AIE World of Warcraft. I just wanted to congratulate you on 200 episodes. It's a great achievement. I personally can't thank the community enough for all the connections and experiences I've had since coming to the guild and hearing the podcast. And on behalf of AIEU, stay classy, explode hilariously, and nerf diplomacy, buff war.
Hey, this is Abavan, Game Director of Final Fantasy XIV, and also Abavan in all the games. I want to put a big congratulations out to the AIE Podcast show number 200. That's an amazing accomplishment, guys. Great work. Gomez, sad to hear that you're hanging up the hat after this show, but you had a great run. Really enjoyed it, but I can't wait to hear the future of the AIE Podcast. All right, everybody, take care.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Everyone, very much. We greatly appreciate it. So, I believe we have some prizes.
Oh, I forgot. We've got prizes to give away.
How did you forget about the prizes? They're exciting.
Excuse me, Randy Deluxe was just on the show. My brain is gone.
Yeah, no, it is
Well,
certainly
you know what?
that's
Randy
the thing.
likes the cookies I bake as much as you. So there we go. Factoid of the day.
Way to name drop, Ludra. So.
You know what? I'm sorry, Akizado. I won't drop your name anymore. That's it.
Yeah, it keeps hurting when you do that. No, clean it off.
So do we want to give all three of these away to people in the chat room? Do we want to give one away to someone that emails over the next week? How do you guys want to do this?
I say, and I'm just making this up, so tell me this is wrong, we give 2 away to the members of the chat room, and then just because it tickles me, I want to give 1 away to the people that retweeted the announcement this evening or this afternoon of McCall joining us as third host and helping me getting her totally sloshed. Because we had a drinking game. If you retweeted the announcement, for every retweet, McCall had a drink. Last time I looked, we were at 39 retweets. I'm sure that is probably going to... She'll be out for the next couple of shows, so she may have to join us later.
Maybe explain why she's not in the chat room.
Well, visit her in the hospital.
Yes, so guys, in case you missed that and all that, our new person is Makala. She will be joining us starting next week. Yay!
Yes, she has been on before. She was, I believe, here to talk either about WoW or the craft fair, correct?
The craft fair? No.
She was here with a side for the craft fair.
Craft fair.
Okay. So, that means, Zod, with that being said, we have, I say tonight we give away a key from Final Fantasy, and we also have, this is hard to get a hold of, folks, so we definitely want to thank Aludra. Maybe you want to help me with this. I believe it is Rounsa Pardil. Is the name
absolutely
that's correct?
Sure.
Okay. So they gave us a unrestricted landmark closed beta key. So EverQuest landmark, this is not something that you can use sometimes. These are the keys that you can use all of the time. So this is a a really decent thing. So we are going to give one of these away to the chat room. So how do we want to do this, guys? How do we want to do this? We gotta get something in the chat room here.
All right.
I'm not asking the chat room hosts.
Sorry, I am busy picking a winner out of the Twitter list, so I will leave it to you guys.
All right, so I'll pick the winner out of this
we can do that. We can do that afterwards, because I figured we'll give away one of the landmark keys and the Final Fantasy XIV here, and then we will give away the other key on the retweet list.
Well, I was going to announce it. I'm going to pick somebody.
Okay. That's fine as well. If that we can absolutely do that as well. So, Ludra, do you have an idea how we can give away Final Fantasy XIV, EverQuest landmark? Those are the 2 things we have to give away. I'm sure I can play a wrong bumper in here somewhere. That's here we go.
Oh, that'd be great.
Dwarf sissy bag.
Okay, there we got that all the way. So, let me see. What do we want to do? What do we want to do with this key here? This is not good radio. We need to come up with something quick here.
We do not want to be the first person to enter a certain word because there's a noticeable lag.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to go to random.org. How many people are in the chat room? And we're going to do a roll.
Ooh, good call. Now, are you counting like Arv, who's in there twice? Does that no?
Huh?
Are you counting Arv?
No, he does not get to be in there twice.
No, he doesn't get 2 votes.
Sorry, Arv, I tried. I was pulling for you. But
Give me give me the final number.
1, 2, 3.
I'm trying to. Is there a count here? Let's see here. Of course, my IRC client does not actually give me a count. What's that?
24. I'm counting in. Just make sure.
24.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I don't have a 24-sided dice. I have a 30-sided dice, but I don't have a 24-sided dice.
Deist.
Sure.
Deist wins.
Deist, congratulations.
Deist
You
wins.
What are we giving away? I've already forgotten what we're giving away.
Landmark.
A unrestricted landmark closed beta key. So, Deist, if you, I will send you a message, momentarily. We also have a Final Fantasy key. So this is a full retail version of the game. This does have a monthly fee, but you get a month for free. So you can decide whether or not, it is for you. But let's if you're interested in this, how about let's say that, because there's about a minute lag. If you're interested in this, say Final Fantasy in the chat room, and then we can get an idea, because that's probably a much smaller number of people that are interested in a monthly fee game.
Yeah.
Okay, so meanwhile, Udra, if you would be so kind as to roll
Deist is also Roundsa, so that's probably not...
Oh, wow, Ben! I'll do this
What are the
again.
odds? That is absolutely...
it would have really helped if you would have just logged in with the name Roundsa. I'm just going to say that.
Well, then listen, Deist, thank you so much for donating those. Now that we tell you properly, well.
Oh yeah, no. Now that I look at the signature of the mail, they list all of the names, and Deist is one of them. So.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That is amazing. All right, so.
All right, so I rolled an 11, and it goes to Cav now.
Cav, you're not also Roundsa 2, are you? Just to make sure.
Yeah, you're not. No, come on.
So Cav, you clearly have enough time, because you're not playing WildStar enough, that you are now going to play EverQuest Landmark. So, Herbivotive, I believe that yes, it is. Everything we have is PC only for these 2 particular things that we're giving away right now. Okay, so we have.
Where we're delaying.
I believe we have 3 people that have said Final Fantasy so far.
All right, Ludra, why we're delayed?
Yes, I know.
A random 36 roll.
A random 36?
Yeah.
I got 24.
Wow, this is. We should have done this after the.
We should have, but we didn't. So.
We didn't. It's fine.
It's great.
24.
What is our last thing to give away?
We're a Final Fantasy 14 thing, and I let me see how many people we.
No, what's the third prize?
Oh,
it's
the third
another
prize is in
Landmark beta key.
EverQuest Landmark.
Okay, 24 came up to be Hoots. Odds are he probably already has that, because Hoots has all the things.
Oh yeah, he probably does.
Well, we can contact him and find out.
I will ask him and then let him know that he won the retweet contest that we didn't announce we were doing, and see if he's interested. If not, we'll just roll another one. Yeah, I know, and this is really good radio. You guys want to watch me count?
Yeah.
So
luckily,
let's go ahead and do the outro. We will handle prize stuff after we finish the outro here. So
I'm sure Gomez wanted to edit one more show before he left.
Yeah.
Yes, clearly. So, that wasn't your gift to me that you guys are going to edit the show?
No.
No. We're going to let you remember why you're leaving.
Yep.
Okay. So that's our show for this evening. We want to thank all of our guests for joining us and all of AIE for being such a fantastic community. 200 episodes has been 100% worth it. So it's been a pleasure and honor to have celebrated you every week for the last 3.5 years.
Aw, that's so sweet. I totally wasn't on the page. We'd especially like to thank Gomez for all the amazing work he's done since episode 61. We are really going to miss you.
Absolutely. It's not going to be the same show.
Thank you.
Not that it's a bad thing, but it's not going to be the same show.
Yes.
All right, so next week we'll be back to our regular format, or maybe even a new one, you don't know, with our new co-host, Makala. And people, if you haven't met Makala, you're going to love her. You got to tune in and listen to her. She's awesome.
She's awesome.
But don't really turn off your podcast yet. We've got more of our regular, wonderful weekly AIE member segments coming right up, including Ask Miss Mogra, Overly Dramatic News, Ask a Magus, and Buxley's Journal. Although we should just have them do them live when they were here.
Well, we're running out of time.
Buxley's
We're running out of
Journal,
time.
that, yeah.
But first, if you need to reach us, we can be found at our email, which is podcast@aie-guild.org. We're also on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. Gomez is at Show Not Found. Accusod is at Accusod. And I am at Aludra_AIE. We record live with video every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You can join us in the chat room and play along with us, or watch one of our past shows on our website, theaiepodcast.com. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
And for my last time, AIE, this is Gomez.
This is Aludra.
This is Accusod.
And this has been the AIE Podcast. Man, I don't know what button to push. Okay, I did push the right one.
Okay, good.
Good.
I was
gotta
like,
leave that
oh,
in there
I
'cause
pressed the
that's
wrong one
hilarious.
before. I still don't know where the actual intro is. I will actually have to look for that. That's really weird because the one I pressed earlier obviously was not it because it was like a minute and a half long. So I don't know what the heck came after that, but it was
He was
that
afraid of it.
Yes.
Yeah, Lotwook is actually correct. That Gomez's Twitter handle now makes perfect sense.
It does.
Yeah, show not found. Okay, so wow, I had people say, "Oh, hey, say Final Fantasy in the chat room if you're interested," and then of course those have scrolled by. So I'm trying to figure out how we can.
Okay, we got Battle Panda, Lotwook, Turbo. It's only 3 I see.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes it easy.
More.
Is
there anybody?
there
Is there anybody we didn't know?
Last call. Does anybody want a free month of Final Fantasy?
Yeah, basically, well, it's the game and a free month.
And
So
it's for the license for the game. Which,
yeah.
Actually, I want that. Yeah. No, I guess I couldn't. I'll have to pass. That's the only games I want to play. I want to actually jump in and try it, but I can't pay for another game. I'm married.
Oh yeah, no, that's well. Remember, they do have a cheaper version for just one character, which I totally did for like 3 months because you don't need to play more than one character. So that's...
All right. Nobody else is.
Yeah, Abovan is threatening people.
Titles.
Abovan is threatening people with making them join the guild or free company in the game. So if you're still interested, let us know. Oh, apparently Abovan wants us to sell it. I think if we're having to give the game away, that's probably somebody who doesn't have 7 million gil.
7 million gil, yeah.
Yeah, well, but someone might be industrious after they join. So
all right, so the three people were Battle Panda, Turbo, and who else?
Lotwook.
All right, so then 1 to 3.
Lotwook the Nomad.
And it came up 1, so Battle Panda.
Ooh, congrats, Battle Panda.
Battle Panda wins.
So actually, to make this easier, can the people who won, can you email podcast@aie-guild.org just so we're not trying to do this over IRC, and we will send you the appropriate codes, and be honest about, what the heck.
Yeah.
I'm totally Battle Panda, can't you tell?
That's me.
I kind of look like a panda.
And so I honestly actually really like Ralph's show title, Go No Mas. That's I think that is
Where's that?
That is cute.
It's like GHO and then no moss. So I think that is a
no moss. Gotcha.
Great.
All right, then Ralph, thank you very much for the show title. I think we will let Gomez pick it because it's his last chance.
Of
ever.
course he's picking it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's.
At the sake of breaking into yours, dude, you've been
Battle
awesome.
Panda won the
Thank you.
Final Fantasy key, correct? Oh,
Battle
you're
Panda,
welcome.
yeah.
That's okay. I'm Battle Panda. If you can stay on IRC for a moment, I will send you your code.
I thought they were going to email you.
No, they can, but I have him right here. So, and I have the code right in front of me. So I will certainly. Certainly. So, Zod, you can take us off the air. Thank you, everyone, so much for showing up this week.
Thank you, chat room. We love you guys. And tune in next week to meet McCullough. It's kind of like the change in the Doctor. Gomez, you got to do this thing like this, and then we'll put gold light around you like you're transforming, and then we'll bring... All right, bye, guys.